the traveling to Europe or Japan, eating healthier food, and you lose weight is just a trope. Europeans say the same stuff coming to the US. It is a fact that European food, on average, is less inflated with artificial sweeteners than American food. Like, if you go to not just their grocery stores, but even like cafes or whatever, American food is insanely sweet. Everything has high fructose corn syrup fucking dumped into it because it makes it more dense and flavorful and stuff and addictive. Traveling in general helps you lose weight because you're walking around a bunch, but like there is a difference. American food is quite bad, you know? He's a big whiner. I am Avion. Yeah, I've noticed when I cook my own stuff from raw ingredients, even if I eat a fuck ton, I tend to lose weight or really stabilize. Literally, just like, and I'm not trying to do like any RFK Jr. bits or whatever, but when you go to the grocery store, go look at just any kind of food. You like bagels or any baked good for one, just anything, right? And look at the ingredients in the back. It doesn't matter if there are a bunch of chemicals. Chemicals are fine, everything's chemicals. But what you should look at is calories and sugars, because that's the stuff your body's actually metabolizing. And oh my God, so much of our food has fucking high fructose corn syrup, yeah, added sugars, carbohydrates, anything. If you look at the food and it has added sugars, that's the red flag. That's the big red flag, right? That's the big one. The added sugars, because that's just directly referring to they make the item and then they get the syringe full of the corn syrup, and then you're full up. It's bad. It's bad for you. And it's just because the deep state wants you to get fat, get big and round. They want to roll you around. They want to roll you into Iran so you can die for Israel. I went to Winco and almost all the jam had high fructose corn syrup as the first ingredient. Yep. Again, it's the same thing as with masonry or clothing or furniture or whatever else. It used to be that when you went to a grocery store, the jam was just jam, mashed up like fruits, right? And maybe some sugar. Not like added sugar, but just sugar for the fermentation or not fermentation for jam, but like, for the initial blend or whatever. But now that we have big factories where you can more efficiently pump out, like for 2% less cost per unit or whatever, you can make it insanely unhealthy. They just run with that. So now if you want to buy real jam, it's really expensive. They have locked all of the common luxuries of the old world behind like insanely high prices because everyone has been forced to get used to the normal bad stuff now. No more limestone, you get plaster. No more wood, you get molded plastic. No more good furniture, you get IKEA. Wait, jam isn't just fruit and sugar in the US? Well, it kind of varies. Like some amount of sugar is acceptable in jam, but you try in America. You go to the grocery store and buy some jam from an American grocery store, and you tell me whether that's the right amount of sugar for jam. You can taste the difference between like jam from the fruit sugars, plus you add a little brown sugar in there, whatever, and then jam that they're pumping it. You can tell, and you can see it in the calories too. Hey, think of how I feel, Vermin. I'm too picky of an eater to enjoy most good food. Even tomato soup is sickly sweet. What the fuck? Yeah. Jam's always had a fuck ton of sugar, Vosh. Man, don't argue with me. I know jam is made with sugar. You can try jam at a local. You don't have to argue with me on this, okay? It's fine. I've had good jam and I've had American grocery store jam. I know what the difference is. It's not just the sugar. It's like there are natural sugars in fruits that you can bring out and like add flavor to. But then there's that, and then there's just like absolutely dumping high fructose corn syrup in it. Like there is I'm not trying to RFK Jr. stuff, okay? I'm just saying, I don't know. What are we even talking about, man? What are we even talking about? Still thinking about Vosh's mom's pizza soup? Dude, that shit was fucking goated. Macaroni pasta in a tomato soup base with basil and some mozzarella cheese grated on top so that it melts and forms like a little cover over it. The pizza soup, that shit was fucking goated. Oh my God, that was good. It's like my childhood food. What about those Dunkin' Donuts caramel coffee shit that's like 2K calories? Yeah, it's probably, oh man, fuck. How many people do I want to make mad at me today? It's probably not good that when Americans think of coffee, they think of insanely high calorie Frappuccino milkshakes. Yeah, that's probably not good. Am I in favor of sin taxes? I don't really know. I guess my position is this. I think that you have a right to get fat as fuck. But if you're gonna get fat as fuck, you better put in the work. You need to get fat as fuck eating real food, not 1,800 calorie Frappuccino per day plus regular meals. Like you need to be getting fat as fuck off of like chicken and rice and fruits and vegetables and like a nice whole wheat pasta and stuff. I want you to get fat off of real food. I don't think it's good to get fat off of like insanely fake food. The shit made in a lab. I don't know. Yeah, get fat as fuck for the love of the game. I don't think it should be easy to get fat as fuck on accident. It's kind of bad that it is. For like all of human history, even in times where people ate a lot, like in the 1960s and 70s, people seemed to have an easy enough time being fit. And then at some point in the past 50 years, it shifted. And now, unless you're specifically careful, you get fat as fuck, which is, I don't know. I feel like it should be a little harder, maybe. Just put the effort in. Just put the effort in. Get a little bit. Welch's natural fruit. Yeah, okay, wait. Can I see the nutrition label on this? Is this the good stuff or the bad stuff? I don't know. Probably the bad stuff. From this shit, natural too. Fruit spread. Serving size 1 tablespoon. And in that 1 tablespoon, you get 12% of your added sugars. Total sugar is 8 grams. Added sugar is 6 grams. How many calories is a gram of sugar? I mean, it's like the carbohydrates wise, it's like nothing compared to the amount of sugar. I don't know. It's just the sugar industry pushing super, super hard. Yeah. The funny thing is that the MAHA, the MAGA RFK Jr. shit, they're pro all of this because they focus on stupid bullshit like seed oils, you know, which did nothing. Seed oils do nothing. It's just a conspiracy. The seed oils are fine, you know? And they talk about like fats and carbohydrates. Carbs are fine. Eat carbs. Fat is fine. Eat fats. Soy fat or seed oil, they're all fine. It's all totally fine for you. It's literally just sugar. But because that's a corporation, MAGA will never go against it. Never. Never, ever, ever. Corn is the problem. Corn is the issue. Our corn industry is fucked, dude. It shouldn't be used for fuel subsidies. It shouldn't be used for added sugars. Natural sugars are fine too. Natural sugars are fine because natural sugars are just carbs, you know? It's just that every time they make an item and then they're like, all right, time to inject the fucking corn syrup. And then, you know, like regular carbs are fine. People are insane. Keto dieting is cope. Anti-seed oil is cope. Tallow oil shit, it's cope. Everything is cope, okay? It's calories, macronutrients, micronutrients. Just try not to eat so much fucking added sugar and you'll be fine. Literally, like, that'll get you 99% of the way there for everyone. Keto diet destroys your gallbladder. Yeah, it fucks you up, man. Keto is bad for you. Carbs fuel for your body, man. Also reduce alcohol intake? Yeah, probably reduce alcohol intake. Yeah, for sure. Drink piss? Drink piss. Also, people need to improve their fiber intake. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Yeah. What's like the classic, I don't know, American white bread? What's like the brand? Come on. I see it everywhere. I guess there's a lot of brands. I'm being pretty general. Maybe it's only on the West Coast that it's super common. Not Wonder Bread. I'm not thinking of Wonder Bread. I'm thinking of like the kind that I would actually buy because I would not buy Wonder Bread. Franz? Yeah, Franz. Nutrition label. Here, Franz white bread from QFC. That's actually not too bad, I think. I mean, white bread's always going to be kind of bad for you because they're simple carbs rather than complex carbs. Yeah, Franz isn't too bad, I don't think. I guess maybe I should go for the Wonder Bread. It's not too bad. Oh yeah, 1 slice of Wonder Bread is 140 calories. Holy shit. I mean, a lot of people do buy this. Yeah, I guess you can take a look at a comparison. Like 1 slice here, 80 calories. 1 slice for Wonder Bread, nearly double that. Added sodium, 5 grams of added sugars. Yeesh. Wonder Bread's genuinely gross. It sticks to the roof of your mouth. Yeah. Try not to eat. That's the other big health thing. Don't eat simple carbs, okay? Okay, this is how you get your fiber. This is how you get your fiber. Isn't this for 2 slices? Is this for 2? Oh, this is for 2 slices. Okay. All right, never mind then. I get it's for 2 slices. It still has a higher proportion of added sugars. But yeah, no, that's for 2 slices then. You want whole wheat bread? Yeah, white bread's not very good for you. It's same with pasta. The difference is when you eat simple basically the idea, simple carbs are, the machines have already pre-digested it. Basically, like the factory processing has removed the elements from the grain that your body puts work into digesting. So you're basically just getting like a shot of carbs directly to your body. But complex carbs like whole wheat or whatever, or like brown rice rather than white rice, still has the fiber. It still has all the like added stuff. It's more unrefined. So your body has to put more effort into digesting it, which is good because the fiber shields your body from the fucking the sugar spike that you get from processing the carbohydrates. And there's also like more vitamins and minerals and shit like that. That's why you got to eat the whole wheat stuff. They haven't been able to make whole wheat pasta that doesn't taste like it hasn't been covered in sand. This is to me just a perspective thing because at this point I find that simple like white pasta tastes gross. It tastes like goopy, slimy, mono. I feel like I'm eating plastic. It feels like when I bite into it, I'm tasting like I'm biting into like a monomer. You know what I mean? Just like a single block a unit of food. Whereas when I have whole wheat ravioli or whatever, it's like, oh man, all this like rich texture and different flavors and stuff. You know, way more into that. This is a skill issue. My favorite pasta is made with lentils. It's made with lentils, I think, or maybe like quinoa. It's like a fiber pasta. Name brands. I get it from Costco. Hold on one second. Costco. I'm gonna look up just fiber pasta. Yeah, this. Ooh, this. The Brahmi protein pasta. This shit right here. Just make your own pasta. Shut up. Protein pasta. Let's go. Per serving, 200 grams. Look at that dietary fiber. Look at that dietary fiber. 18% of your dietary fiber, 12 grams of protein. Oh, baby. Is it tasty? This shit rules, dude. Fuck yeah, it does. Absolutely. Also, by the way, the quality of pasta is like 90% the sauce you make. It's already like 90% the sauce you make. Do you eat veggies with your pasta? No, I'm not brave like that. Favorite noodle shape? I don't know, man. You still drinking espresso? Yeah. I'd like to mention there's a really good espresso for everyone. That's way better than that. Do you get a lot of mail? I don't know what you mean. I'm very happy with an espresso. I'm not going to change that right now. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Eat real food, I guess. Please at least try homemade pasta once. Okay, maybe at some point I'll try homemade pasta. Have you had gnocchi before? Yeah, of course. Gnocchi's great. Espresso or Nespresso? Nespresso is how I have my espresso. Ultra-processed food should be treated more like cigarettes than food, as per the study. I don't like the term ultra-processed foods because I think that it oversimplifies what elements in food are good or bad. The processing itself is not necessarily bad, but there are different kinds of processing that can be bad. I think it's much easier to just focus on added sugars, but the reason why they won't talk about added sugars is because then the deep state would have them killed. Terrible take, ultra-processed food is a problem because it takes a ton of processing to even make these crazy added refined sugars. Okay, but the processing itself isn't the problem there. There are kinds of processing that you can do to food that's fine. That isn't really like super like there are lots of frozen meals that are fine. You know, and they are very processed, but they contain plenty of good food. You know, they're not like super bad or whatever. So I just think that the term ultra processed makes people it makes people fixate on this weird like naturalistic fallacy where they get obsessive over the idea that the truest food or the most healthy food is the one that's like closest to having just been picked. But that's not true at all, really. I think it's overly simplified. I would rather people just focus on like what like chemical ingredients to avoid or to pursue, you know, to prioritize. Yeah, it's like saying chemical free or all natural. It doesn't really mean anything. My issues with the term, I think it encourages like a bad mode of analysis. Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you think there's a nutritional difference between high fructose corn syrup and cane sugar? Not really. I mean, I think that often cane sugar maybe tastes a teeny bit better, but it's chemically very, very similar. The problem with high fructose corn syrup isn't that it's fake sugar. It's that because of its nature, it's much easier to suffuse, to disseminate into like all foods, you know? Many food scientists use this term in good faith, and it's a pretty good. Okay, my problem is that like this is a subject that is rife with a lot of conspiracism. There are a lot. It is the diet industry and the anti-seed oil stuff and the keto dieting stuff. Billions and billions and billions of dollars circulate around giving people bad ideas when it comes to health and fitness and dieting and so on. And the problem is that dieting and exercise and how you do it properly are actually really simple in almost all cases. Like with exercising, basically like one routine and a set of principles will get every human from wherever they are right now to top like 95th percentile in fitness. You can do backflips, you can do pull-ups, whatever. It's very, very simple. All right. And then for eating, it's also very simple. Calories in, calories out. First, you manage your macronutrients and then you manage your micronutrients. You make sure, you know, you try to get what you need, some vegetables, some fruits. You'll be okay. It's really not that big. Maybe your situation is different. You need a doctor to give you like an idea, like a specific plan. That's fine. That's fine. But overwhelmingly, it's pretty simple. So my problem is that the terminology really, really, really matters because ultra processed overlaps with the presumptive thinking that a lot of people engage in when they make bad decisions about dieting or about exercise, or when they grift off of giving bad advice. So I just prefer to focus on like, hey, make sure you get this, make sure you manage this, and then make sure you're like, this is the thing to look out for, added sugars. Because I don't think it's that tough, really. I think that for the most part, like eating healthy, it requires conscientiousness, but the underlying principles are consistent and easy to keep up on. That's all. I don't think that every scientist who says ultra processed is lying or like a grifter or whatever. I just think that it often directs attention away from what I think is the underlying drive. Because it's pretty simple. Humans have been figuring out diet and exercise stuff like for as long as we've existed as a species, you know? It's so easy that every animal on Earth manages it naturally without being able to acquire specific knowledge on the subject, basically. I just think we should focus on the basic principles. Yes, but in general, if you tell people don't eat ultra processed foods, that gets you there like 90% of the way there. I just don't think that's true. I think that if you tell a person don't eat ultra processed foods, you're telling them basically nothing. You're telling them like don't eat grocery store stuff. Like, I don't know, that's so vague, and it will have you like checking every item and what's the line. I don't think that helps at all. Do you agree it'd be based and lit if we all ate at home more often with portions we control ourselves using fresher and healthier ingredients? Actually, this is where I ult on you guys, because I think we should all eat out more often. I think that restaurants are a symbol of bourgeois decadence. I think we need to go back to the public cafeteria, like we did in cities for centuries, for millennia, where like no one living in a city had their own fucking kitchen in their tenement because everyone was stacked like 8 people per bed or whatever. So instead, to get food, you would go out and a guy with a kebab cart would give you a kebab for like 2 cents or whatever. Or you would go to like the soup kitchen. And it wasn't a thing that poor people did. Everyone wanted soup, so everyone would go to the soup kitchen. I think that'd be better. I think that we have hyper-individualized the process of making food way too much. People have gotten on the assumption that like, oh, for all of human history, everyone made all their own meals. No, the fuck they didn't. Do you know how much time that would take, especially with how like they were dealing with unprocessed ingredients? They had to like pick that shit. No, they weren't. A cook would make them. Someone would make them for a group. That's how that worked for most of human history. But now it's like, just have 4.5 hours every day. And then you get pitched fucking YouTube shorts of women wearing linen shirts, trad wife LARPing, and like spending 8 hours. Man, my child asked me for a home dessert. This is my first time making this. And then she spends 8 hours like refining the sugar and processing and make it. It's like, dude, fucking no one has the time. Are you kidding me? I have to goon today. Get over yourself. I would rather just be able to go to a place that sells me something good and get it, and it not be 8,000 calories, right? But now restaurants are like a luxury, you know? Or not a luxury in the sense that no one could afford them, but they're a luxury in the sense that they're considered to always be extraneous. A restaurant is always an extraneous version of what you could be doing for cheaper at home. Got to bring back the cafeteria, you know? Bring back the tavern, yeah. Individualized cooking does waste a lot of food, yeah. A lot of food, a lot of time. This is something Kropotkin wrote about at length. He called for replacing restaurants with public kitchens. Based. So based. Like this. I mean, I don't know what specifically I'm looking at here, but this is kind of what I'm imagining. Like you go to a place and it's not like a restaurant, but you're like, there's like 4 items on the menu and you go there and you're like, I want that. And they're like, okay. And they just have it ready because that's the only shit they're making that day, you know? And it's really, really cheap. Do you all not have these in Seattle? I think what you guys are thinking of, you're still thinking of a restaurant, but a cafeteria is a very, very, very distinct thing. There's no, it's literally like the most cost-effective way to do this. But now if you go to a mall food court, that shit is more expensive than a restaurant. It's like a meal from a food truck is super expensive, you know? And that's because our economic priorities are fucked. I'm thinking, yeah, more like Costco, right? Think of it like Costco. Would you say that the insistence that everyone cook for themselves is an extension of personal responsibility politics? Yeah, 100%. Yes, I absolutely do think that. I think it is insane. It's the same as like every parent should just raise their children. Oh, so for like all of human history, it took a village to raise a child, but now it takes 2 parents, both of whom have day jobs. So you have to pay $50,000 a year for the daycare, and then you both come home and you're tired as fuck, and now you have to raise your kid who you only see for like 4 hours of the day because they have to go to sleep at 9 and you got back home at 5. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. And now we're like, well, you can eat healthy. All you have to do is go research how to cook and then research a million meals you can make and then go to the grocery store 3 times a week and buy every ingredient that you need, juggling and managing your fruits and your vegetables and your proteins and your grains. And you have to know how to cook all this and manage it. And then you have to meal prep and food prep, and you have to fucking deal with all the leftovers. You have to efficiently use every spice and ingredient. It's like, holy shit, dude. No one at any point in human history has been expected to juggle all of this on their own. Seriously, just look in the past. We didn't. This is a post-World War II thing. This is a modernity. This is like a nuclear family thing. This is not the way it used to be. Also, how to cook well, not fuck up the recipe the first 3 times you do it. Yeah, yeah, seriously. Also, like, man, I don't know. It's not expensive to cook at home, but it is expensive to experiment with cooking at home. And it is expensive to like want to try a meal once, but not want to have to make it 3 times to use up all the ingredients that you got. Because if you just leave ingredients to waste, then you might as well have not had them at all. So sometimes it really is just cheaper if you want one burrito once or like one thing once to go out and buy it from somewhere else. But now it's like, oh, you have to go to a restaurant, so it's $19 for the plate, and the fucking tip is going to bring it up to 23, and then the service charge, so it's going to 26.75 to get the item that cost at most $2 to make ingredient wise. Bring back cafeterias. Is this something like what you're talking about? We have food halls in North Carolina. The problem is that I've been to places like this and they're expensive as fuck. That's the issue. Like the other thing is driving the price down. I can tell from the website of this place, this is expensive as fuck. I'm not getting fooled, okay? You should be able to get a meal for like $3 or $4. Have you been to any PCCs? I have not been to any PCCs. Yeah, a closer equivalent to what I'm talking about would be like a hot bar at a grocery store, you know? Like, it's not a restaurant. It's not a place you go for an experience. It's a place you go and there is food there and then you eat the food. So like a university dining hall, but not overpriced? Yeah, like a dining hall, cafeteria, yeah. We used to go to a place called J&S Cafeteria as a kid. I love cafeterias. I love the vibe. Oh no, not cafeterias like cafes. Eating houses. It was bringing me cafes, like fancy stuff. By the late Victorian era, philanthropy led to improved, cleaner communal dining facilities, while the working class often frequented tavern supper rooms or street-side vendors. Tavern supper rooms. This is probably like a British, I guess, when I hear tavern, I think England. 19th century. Tavern supper rooms, 19th century. This was like you would go into a tavern and they would have a soup, they would have the pot of soup on the fire, and you'd be like, oh, can I have some of that? And then they would give you the soup, and it would be like a pence, right? The 100-year-old soup, yeah. Dining out in the 1830s. At a well-run New England country tavern in the early 19th century, tired and hungry travelers would find a memorable welcome. An hour before the stagecoach was due, the landlord was found in the tap room preparing his bottles of liquor and setting his glasses single file. All public dining was tavern dining except for great outdoor dinners on occasion like the 4th of July. 4th of July? In England? Are we not in England? No, we're in America right now. Okay, yeah, teach U.S. history. That'll do it. 4th of July? What the hell are they doing? Celebrating their defeat? Country taverns were organized like large households, and tavern cooking was home cooking, spanning the entire range of rural New England foodways. Its quality varied greatly as it does today in homes and restaurants. Where the tavern keeper was stingy or the cook unskilled, the food could be awful. Such is life. In some taverns, the fare was good but amazingly simple. Is there like a cost comparison that I could look at here? How much did it cost to eat at a mess hall 19th century? Super broad, but like maybe that'll give me the information I'm looking for. Restaurant prices 19th century. Shannon's Palace. 1833, a cheap New York City eating house on Maiden Lane. The charge for a plate of fish, for a plate of roasted turkey with a slice of ham with vegetables, potatoes, beans, and a plum pudding or peach pie or apple pie is exactly 1 shilling sterling. I don't know how the fucking much that is. 1 shilling sterling. How is that the cost in 1833? 1 shilling in 1833 has purchasing power equivalent to roughly £773 today, due to a cumulative inflation rate of over 15,000% over the past 193 years. Okay, so $7.73. Actually, if you think about it, plate of fish, plate of roasted turkey, slice of ham with vegetables, potatoes, beans, and a plum pudding, or peach pie, or apple pie, around 773, and that was with the productive and efficient capabilities of people back in the early 19th century, you know? It's like a buffet plate for, yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like if anything, it should have gone down. Think of how much more food we produce from our farms than we used to. Like, think of how much more efficient our like agricultural processes have become. That's kind of crazy. At a cheap eating house in Baltimore for a price the diner considers very moderate, I got my dinner there today for 15 3/4 cents, and it consisted of a plate of roast turkey and vegetables and an excellent tart. New York City Chop House beef steak, 25 cents. I wish this was inflation adjusted so I didn't have to look it up every single time. What about something more recent? Hold on 1 second, okay? Okay, here. Cincinnati Coffee House, sponsored by the YMCA. Folks, now we're in for it. Bill of fare, coffee and bread or crackers, 5 cents. Coffee, roll, and butter. Soup and bread or crackers. What about a real food? Pig's feet. There you go. Potatoes, 3 eggs, milk and bread, 5 cents. 25 cents in 1876 is worth about $7 to $9 today. Sirloin steak for 35 cents. We're getting out of hand. Okay, sorry. Wait, did individual kitchens not exist in ancient times at all? Not in cities. If you lived in a city, you had to be insanely wealthy to have a kitchen in your house. You had to be like an aristocrat, basically. Um, Farmers have probably always had kitchens because they were out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, and yet people lived.